Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another quick collection picker video. I was able to pick up some stuff I want to share with you guys, so let's get started. I picked up some NES games at a swap meet, and the first game I picked up is Robo Warrior, developed by the good people at Jaleco. This is an interesting combination game, I would consider it, because it combines elements from two other games to make what seems like a different game. This game combines the top perspective of Blaster Master. You control this little robot guy and you go around shooting enemies in this labyrinth type of levels. And it combines an element from Bomberman, where you can leave bombs to clear obstacles, and then if you time it right, you can kill other enemies. So this was a really good surprise for me. I mean, the box art doesn't really tell you anything, and Jaleco's they don't always produce the best games, but this one I really enjoyed a lot. The graphics are really cool, and it controls pretty well, which is always important for an NES game. So even though it takes elements from other more successful games, it really is able to produce something that at least I enjoyed. So really happy about this pickup. Next game I picked up is by Konami. I'm actually trying to collect all the Konami games, which is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, because Konami and Capcom released a bunch of games on the NES, but that's a goal I'm trying to reach. And I was able to pick up The Goonies 2, based on the sequel to a game based on the movie. Now, of course, the first game only came out in Japan. It never reached America, which is kind of weird because, the movie was so successful here. So I don't know why they didn't release the first one, but we got this sequel. Um, Oddly enough, when I popped this into the NES, I was reminded of two games. I was reminded of Friday the 13th, where you enter the cabin and you can explore everything. It has some scenes like that, and it reminded me a lot of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You control one of the Goonies and you go around killing anything enemies with your JoJo. But something about the level design reminded me a lot of that. So I also liked it, and this is one of my milestone games. With this game, I actually now have 850 video games between all the consoles that I own. So this one is almost historic, and well, it is historic in my collection because it represents, the 800th and 850th uh, game I own. So really happy about that. And I picked up by Acclaim Ferrari Grand Prix Challenge. It's a racing game, a Formula One racing game with Ferrari cars. And another good surprise, I actually enjoyed this one too. Racing games depend on two things for me. They have to control well, because if you control this car that just spirals out of control at the first touch of a button, it fails, and it has to have good graphics. And this one has both. Uh, it doesn't have any music. I played the practice mode and it didn't have any music, but the controls are tight. You don't spin out of control that much. And the graphics are okay for a racing game on the NES, of course, but it's still a lot of fun, and it has an interesting mini game. When you take damage, you can enter the pits, and you have to alternate between pressing the A and B button, so your pit crew can do the repairs or everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. So really enjoyed that one. Picked up Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. This is not a good game, actually. I'm really surprised because it's made by THQ and not by LGN. LGN made a lot of stinkers on the NES. But this one, the graphics aren't necessarily bad. I mean, the sprites are big and everything, and you can tell what everything is, but the controls aren't too responsive, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. Yeah, I thought it was a really bad game. Didn't I popped it in, died twice. Didn't like it. I took it right out. So really bad game there. Then I picked up by LGN what might be one of the rare games that they made that I actually did like. Uh, this is Town and Country Surf Design Wood and Water Rage. I remember playing a lot of this game as a kid. It was a really common game when I was young. I either always saw it at a video store, or a friend always borrowed it. So I'm sorry, a friend always lent it to me. And I remember as a kid hating the surfing scene, the surfing levels. I just could never get the timing right for this thing, and I would always die. But the skateboarding levels, I really enjoyed those. Um, the game in all, the animation is good, and the controls, except for the surfing levels, are responsive. So it's one of the rare LGN games that I actually have fun playing. So yeah, it's not as bad as Home Alone 2 at least. And a last game I picked up is Arkanoid. This is a game by Taito. Basically, what you do is you control this little square thing, and you have to guide a little bouncing ball into breaking all these other squares. Now, of course, as you're doing so, you can get power-ups, which expand the little square at the bottom, or they give you the sticky ability, so the ball doesn't bounce off. You can actually time where you want it to bounce, or you can multiply the ball by 3 and break as many of the blocks as you can, because basically the object is to clear the screen of the blocks. Now, there comes a point where you reach these metal blocks that take a lot more time to hit, and also enemies pop up. So there's a lot of things to keep track of, but it's a really addicting game. I totally enjoyed this game a lot. So really happy I was able to find that one too. Now, I was able to give my 64 some more love. Last time I picked up a game, and this time I was able to pick up another one. This is Mickey Speedway USA. Um, because it's a racing game by Rare, it has elements of Diddy Kong, wherein you get power-ups and you have a story mode starring the Disney characters. Like most games on the 64 made by Rare, the graphics are really, really good. Rare really knew what it was doing with the N64. Even on the Super Nintendo, Rare pushed the boundaries of those two consoles and made some really incredible games, and they're fun to play. It's really sad to see Rare nowadays that ever since they got bought by Microsoft, I don't know what they've been doing, but they've been doing a bunch of horrible games. So it's really sad to see the state of Rare now, and compare it to the state of Rare on, it's basically its glory days on the Super Nintendo and the N64. Just they made a lot of really good games. They were tough. I won't lie to you. Rare games are some of the more difficult games out there. But still, the graphics were good, and at least they were fun. So really happy to add this to my collection. And I went to see recently Harry Potter, the seventh movie, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. And I got into this Harry Potter mode, and I wanted a video game, to play it. And I really liked the Prisoner of Azkaban movie. I think that one is the best movie I've seen so far. Just something about that movie. Maybe it's a darker tone. Maybe, it's the Dementors. The fact that it has a werewolf. But that movie it's one of my favorite movies of the series. So I was really excited that I saw this game at GameStop. I got it really cheap. I got it for like $4.88 with my discount card. So I was really excited when I got home and popped this in. And it's not the worst game I've played. It doesn't hold up to the movie, obviously. The animation, the graphics are okay. They're not the best that the GameCube is capable of. The controls are good. I'll give it that. But I don't know, something about it just didn't capture my attention as much as I hope it would be. Still intend to pass it, but I'll leave that one for later. Then I entered this Secret Santa thing at work. Every year they do it. And I don't know if I'm a difficult person to shop for, because everyone knows I'm a geek. Everyone knows that I'm really into comic books and video games and DVDs and movies and stuff. So but a lot of people aren't sure what to get me because they don't know if I already own it, or they know if it's the specific type of thing that I like. So this year, everyone agreed that they would write down 3 things that they wanted, and I only wanted 2. I only wanted a PlayStation 1 network card, or the second season of Big Bang Theory, and I got the second season. And I really, really like this show a lot. There's a lot of things that I love about this show. The interaction between all the characters is great. Everyone has their moment of greatness in this TV show. And I like the science stuff that they talk about. I've looked up a bunch of stuff in Wikipedia that they mention in the show, and I won't deny it. I use it sometimes in conversations, and I love the geek elements. I love the comic books. I love the video games that they talk about. So just this whole series really just wins me over on a whole bunch of levels. And my favorite episode of this season is the Christmas episode. When Penny gives Sheldon this napkin and he's like all confused about why she would give him that. And then he realizes that it's autographed by Leonard Nimoy and that Leonard Nimoy used it to wipe his face. And he freaks out in the most hilarious way. That's definitely my favorite episode of this whole season. But all in all, a really, really, really good series. And I enjoy watching it. Yesterday, I just watched the whole thing in one single sitting. So really happy I got that. And I also have what might very well be my last issue of Gameinformer. I really, really like this magazine a lot. Not only is it free if you have, a membership to GameStop, but the articles are really cool. This cover I thought was really awesome. On this month, issue 212, they talk about the top 30 most influential video game characters of the last decade. And in this cover they have the Raz from Psychonauts, the girl from Half-Life, the guy from Mass Effect, Master Chief, Ace Attorney, Professor Layton, the guy from Shadow of the Colossus, Cosmos, the guy from Heavy Rain. I don't know who this guy is, but the cover is really, really cool. I really enjoyed the cover. And this is the issue where they give out their 2010 holiday buying guide. So it gives you a lot of tips to give as Christmas presents or to get for yourself. And then they talk about, all the characters that made a big impact in gaming this last decade. But the reason why it's my last issue is because I don't live in the U.S. I live in Mexico. So, but I visit the U.S. and the way I get my magazine is I go to the store and I pick it up from there. But they're gonna stop shipping Game Informer to GameStops. The only way you can get it is by either downloading it from their webpage or by having a U.S. address and having it mailed to you, which is not an option to me. And I hate digital download. I really do. Whether it be magazines, comic books, or video games, I hate downloading that kind of stuff. I like the feel of having the physical copy of something. I like flipping through the pages. I like stacking them next to the other stuff, and even as weird it sounds, even the smell of a new magazine. It just I really like having the physical thing, and now that I'm not gonna have it, I'm just gonna stop it. I can't read Game Informer online, so really disappointed because it's a really, really good magazine. I really do enjoy that magazine, so really disappointed. Now my only gaming magazine I'm gonna have is Club Nintendo, but I like Game Informer because it covered all the other consoles. But really disappointed on that. Well, after that rant, I guess I'm done. Just wanted to share with you guys my pickups. Actually, the video went a lot longer than I thought it would, but had something to get off my chest. In the meantime, guys, like always, I've been trying to make a suggestion for you to play, and if you have a chance to play Robo Warrior and to pick it up, that's a really surprising game. I really enjoyed it. But in the meantime, guys, this is Vargas XX78 signing off.